NLS4, the 46th edition of the RCM DHMV Grenzlandrennen is go, because the green lights are now illuminated on the BMW M-Power bridge, and it is 4 abreast down towards the first corner. Huber Motorsport BMW wedged right in the middle. Valkenhorst down the right into the middle of the race then of Scherer Sport and the Schnitzelarm Mercedes, and the Valkenhorst BMW couldn't take the outright race lead from the Scherer Sport Audi in the blue and white. Who's this on the high side? That's the Pro Sport Aston Martin, who's taking the high line through the third bit of the Mercedes arena, and that might deliver the big vantage into second place. It has done, slotting behind the Audi R8 LMS of Scherer Sport. Great move there from either Maxime Demarais or his teammate Mike David Ortman.
Cesarini, it was Casarini in the Schnitzelarm Racing, and it's Ortman at the wheel of the 17 Aston.
Who now leads? Mike David Ortman leading the motor race, coming through the chicane, because the Audi's got a problem very early on in the race and will have to duck into the pit lane, and that scrubs that first lap of the race. It's effectively as if the 5 car has yet to start. The fight is on for second and third, so far from Kuba Gamaziak able to take the fight to Mike Ortman. Here comes the third place car. This is the Mercedes from Schnitzelarm. There are yellow flags out on track, but that's not going to stop Colin Carasani in the
bit of the drafting that's going to happen as you come down the track. The Schnitzelarm Mercedes, it's 2.7 seconds behind the Kuba Gamaziak driven BMW M4 of Valkenhorst, and the Pro Sport Aston currently leading by 2.4 seconds. Now BMW does the closing up. It's deceptive though, because of course that is the draft that goes through the kink, does the classic side draft that takes away the air from the BMW. But I think that BMW has not got the pace today at the moment. It's just not found its sweet spot. We've seen with that car in all previous rounds. I think, Johnny, you could be...
The first NLS race, it was a DNF in the number 665. All problems now, not for the Schnitzelarm car we're talking about, but for the 53 Mercedes, which has tripped over the 104 car, which is a fellow Cup 2 Porsche 911 Cup car. So 104 is the Jörg Wiebahn driven Pro Sport car, and it must have crossed the line not too far away from. Is 53 one of the GT2 cars, Uber driven Porsche, and in front of the Team Matol entry for driver Schicht. And then you've got Omer, the 944 further, and now there is a car trailing Fluid, which is the 955 car, Snowy, snaking its way through the tyres.
Oh yeah, so radiator, classic Porsche radiators right in the front there. It's pouring out of the front left as it just turned around. I also thought it had a left rear puncture, but it may not be. I think it is just steam coming out of that radiator, but that's retired itself to the pits, which is a little bit early on for that. It's a shame, but it's...
Which has had, well, do we know whether it's for a fact an off, or maybe just the car ground to a halt if it was spewing fluids after that contact at turn number 1?
Yeah, so we don't know what we didn't see what the incident was there. It's one of the fastest parts of the circuit there to have a slow zone on, so it gives the drivers a bit of a rest. Though I always love the onboards with there, just how fast. It's a real roller coaster part of the track there up to the
search Yellow Pages.
Other platforms are available too.
Yellow Pages fly fishing, and all will become clear. 4 laps done.
You're too young to remember any of that anyway.
Unfortunately, I'm not. I do remember it first time around, but it was a rerun.
Well, the races have won from that class, but the championships won from the one you just mentioned, and that's why they're carrying the eponymous number 1. It just always catches me out there, because you get cars with 500 and something in the class, and then there's 1.
Yeah, so had they not been champions, they probably would be running as a 3-digit number.
Down the pit straight there. Sorry, Johnny. This battle for between 121 and 100, and it's not even nip and tuck. There was reminiscent of Senna and Mansell.
Aston Martin can compete at the same sort of level as Mike Ortman was able to do. Moment or two ago, the scrap for 3rd and 4th in Cup 2, as up the inside there went Tim Scheerbart, and that was to get the place back again on the 950. Which is being driven by, no, that's not the right class, people on there, Caymans, aren't they, rather than being with the Baumann car under massive pressure. And what about these two coming off pit road now? Driver change as mentioned, Maxime Demarais versus Kuba Gamaziak. So it's the change in the Aston Gamaziak is retained, though, in the Valkenhorst BMW. And now what I was talking about earlier on, whether the Aston will fall back into the clutches of the BMW, because you have got supersonic driver from the Porsche Super Cup, Kuba Gamaziak, who will be at least gold, probably platinum, versus Dumoulin, who's a bronze. Now, is there any damage on the number 11 Mercedes that was running in second place?
Can't
remember?
see any. Immediately, I can't see him. It is my GPS reading wasn't that far. If it is parked on the carousel, but just against, well, on the outer side, not the inside, not on the racing line being the key part of that. But it does appear that the number 11 Schnitzel Mercedes that was running in second place it does look like a technical issue. Now, I can't rely on the ticker, the GPS 100%, because it says it's not sort of meter perfect, given the scale of the circuit and how this works. But it would appear at the moment that Frank Stippler has got ahead of those two cars in front of him.
Nice.
Of course, he needs to unlap himself still, doesn't he?
He's staying on the lead lap.
Is he on the lead lap?
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't lose a lap, because so they're heading down the Dottinger Rohr now. Some of the quick Porsche Cup cars go through. Tobias Muller has not yet stopped, and Tobias Muller will lead the motor race. We talked about this at the start. Will we get a Cup 2 out front? Well, that is exactly what we've got right now, going on to lap number 8, because the two cars ahead of Muller have come into the pit lane. Philipp Leisen on the inside of Michael Schrei for the lead of VT2 rear-wheel drive. Can't make it work into Tiergarten and heading up to Hohenrhein as well. It's comes from, I think, actually not French. I think it's Swiss heritage, Bailey. And yeah, racing with Alexander Connor in the Valkenhorst motorsport car, and Voisin in the multicoloured car, the race taxi livery, very 1960s that, has just been overtaken by the Kievan sponsored car.
So a little bit of debris on the side. Now we've got a BMW parked at the side of the track here. I'm thinking that's at the beginning, so the Galbenkopf going on to the Dottinger Rohr, I think. There's some left front damage. It's the 187 entry, I think, which is a
distance. Now, hang on a minute. What is the problem here? Is this the other Valkenhorst BMW? Dylan Pereira hasn't yet appeared at the end of his 10th lap.
To say it slows it down is an understatement.
Well, it's lost second, it's lost third, it's lost fourth position, and very nearly fifth as well, to Verimenko, who leads the TES car, which runs in SP9 AM, the number 50 car, the only SP9 AM car in the entry, I reckon, and that is being driven by Michael Heinrich. He shares with the shortened version of Lorenzo Rocca, shortened by name, that is, and Arno Klassen. Hyundai i30N, which is on, I was about to say on the end of a tow rope, but no, it's not being towed. It's, if anything, towing the intervention vehicle along.
It's just being protected, isn't it?
That's right.
Like close protection officers behind.
And we'll have to check them through the split at the end of Sector 3 to see whether there's been an order change there, as now the Mühlner Motorsport Porsche, which is being driven by, was that the 123 or the sister car?
No, the 123's had an issue already, I think.
Let's just have a little look. Maybe the 124 car there. It is the 124 car, you're spot on. And it is fighting with the Black Falcon team. Driven car is back in the race, but 124 by far the better placed of these two Mühlner Motorsport cars, and Vasquez to the inside line of Mustafa Mehmet Kaya to take the position, and that within class will be 7th place. Now,
that is.
Oh, drama at the first corner. The 661 BMW's off the road, and there's a Cayman involved as well. And that was the 4th place runner in BMW 240i, and
955.
I think probably is
955, yeah.
Well done from the top half of the numbers there, because the bottom half is obscured by concrete wall, and it'll be end of race for the 661. You're not going to go anywhere fast there with wheel that severely bent out of shape.
That's the Smithers Racing entry. The old adage we say in racing so many times, catching's one thing, getting by is another, and it just hasn't got the opportunity to so evenly match these two Ben Bernard will try and once again on the dotting hoe to get that toe. Wants to pull up behind it, it's not closing the gap. That's the point. It's sitting there. We treated some onboard footage of it now, just to explain that, how it looks from our Rover live helicopter. Ben Bernard is sitting behind it a car's length distance. He's not able to do much to come to Tiergarten. He's trying to do that side draft into Tiergarten. As I say, he has gone round the outside. He has actually done it, going up into Tiergarten. That was very, very brave. And it's Trans now, and the Ferrari's back out again. Now we've got a Porsche. Now this is the 968 entered number. Ooh, just lost its left tyre, front left tyre. It's just literally departed from the rim, and there is some panel damage to that already. So it's running on. Well, there's a little bit of the sidewall left there. This is the 960, is it? Yeah, 960 number.
60, yes, you're right.
Yeah. No point showing the doorway damage. It's on the bonnet as well. Oh, wake up, no. Helpful for a driver who's gone in and just straightened the mirror back, because it's a road car, so you know it's click in. So whilst he's clicked the barrier there, it's flattened the mirror. Now 120 Porsche has a right rear puncture. Now this is our Cup 2 car, isn't it? It's at the bottom of that class. That's the Aviva Motorsport entry. Just to finish it off perfectly, full green flag last lap, but
however,
Dumoulin is 4/10 quicker than Kolb through sector 1.
And we had a full green
He's got
race.
his dander up. He's not letting go of that podium yet.
We had a full green racetrack for less than a minute there, because now the 106, or is it the 104 Cup 2 car has hit some problems. That's Jörg Wiebahn in the Pro Sport Porsche 911 GT3 Cup car, thankfully. And it will be 4 out of 4 for the BMW M4 in various different guises. Rover have taken a victory this year. Valkenhorst will make it 2. The BMW Junior team victorious in NLS 3. But it is Christian Krognes, together with his teammate Kuba Gamasiak, who did the opening 2 stints, who take the victory in NLS 4. Surely Luca Ludwig will come home in the Octane 126 Ferrari in 2nd position, but massive question marks in the long sector now as to whether it will be an Audi from SP9 Pro or an Aston Martin from SP9 Pro-Am to take the bottom step of the overall podium. But the Ferrari 296, victorious here a month ago in the Nürburgring 24 hours, well, it's another team running one of the brand new prancing horses, and they come home in 2nd position, just north of 2 minutes down from the Valkenhorst Motorsport BMW. So well done to Luca Ludwig, Jonathan Hershey and Bjorn Grossman, the all-Swiss lineup for Swiss team. Tremendous effort from starting driver Mike David Ortmann, but every credit as well to the bronze Maxime Dumoulin, who did stints 2 and 4, and the Aston Martin will win SP9 Pro. Perhaps more significantly though, it gets an overall podium result, and it's been a long time since a Pro-Am car has made the overall podium, particularly an Aston Martin as well. So the Vantage GT3